Good morning, guys. So, we're going to be talking to a very sweet author today. She writes all things that are gooey, sweet, and romantic, and the love stories that we all want to read and be a part of. It is none other than Leah Sharelle. She is a fellow Australian author, which I already love. And we're going to talk about from her debut novel that came out, His Sweetness, in 2018, all the way up to her 15th book that only released 2 weeks ago, Grill. So 15 books in 2 years. That's a phenomenal feat. So I absolutely loved this interview. I loved Leah. She's a very, very sweet woman. And let's just get straight into it. Let's go say hi. Come on, guys. So first of all, Leah, I would like to say thank you for coming on today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Fabulous as always. So my first question is, and I have never visited Victoria in Australia, what's it like living in Ballarat, Victoria?
Right this very second, it's freezing.
What temperature?
Ballarat is, I think we're around about 11 at the moment with the wind chill factor of about -10. Ballarat's lovely, but it's winter time and May time, it's freezing cold.
It's still like really, well, I'm on the Gold Coast at the moment. It's still pretty possibly beach weather heat.
Jumper. It's really cold. And I live in a house that I think the first gold rush settlers built back in the 1800s, so it's freezing here. Maybe not that far away.
Your heating bill must be through the roof.
Well, no, because I've got this tiny little space heater that just heats up that much of the room. So I'm in the kitchen at the moment.
And do you have that heater on your feet right now under the desk?
No, it's in the lounge room, can't be moved. It's okay, I've got slippies on.
Your first book, His Sweetness, was published in March 2018. What gave you the inspiration for it, and how did you find self-publishing?
The inspiration, I have got the most active imagination. My whole life is played out in my head. My unreality, like there's that place that I go to that everything changes and all of a sudden I become Charlotte or one of my characters. And I'm a Pisces as well, so I'm a complete dreamer. And every time I went out to the washing line or I had a kid following me around with the vacuum cleaner or whatever, the story just played like a tape. I did that for years and years and years. And then one day I just thought, I'm going to put it down on paper. And I actually started handwriting at first.
Oh, so you already had, so this had been growing on you for years. Your characters were screaming at you for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, ever since I was probably 12, I've been writing. I started off by changing the endings of Sweet Dreams novels when I didn't like how it ended. Or, what is it, Sweet Valley High, all those teenage things. And then I started on Mills and Boon and then the Desire novels. And it's just grew from there. I've been writing, I've got probably 30 or more handwritten manuscripts under my bed. And that's where they're staying.
Why? Why don't you want to bring those out?
No, they're just the ramblings of a young girl who knew nothing at the time. So, no, they stay there. They're fun to read every now and then, but no, they're just personal ones that stay there.
So keeping in mind that His Sweetness was released in March 2018, you just released your 15th book only the 25th of April. So what, like 2 weeks ago, if that? How did you write 15 books in 2 years? Do you have a certain writing routine or what's your secret?
If I don't write every day, then there's something, I don't feel right. I don't feel complete. So I go to work every day for 7 hours. I come home and then I write till 1, 2 in the morning. I live it in my head, and so I put it down on the typewriter or the laptop, and hopefully it turns into a book. Some of them don't, but Sweetness certainly did. That just started me off, and I haven't stopped since.
I'm curious about your book covers. So a pretty little birdie, yeah, a very pretty birdie. So there's a lot of thought that goes into your book covers.
Yes.
You are very hands-on with it. You are with the photographer when you're doing the photo shoots. Your daughters have been on all the covers, but was it 2?
and just her prints, and then I had the MM cover.
Yeah, so you involve your daughters, you involve local tradies as well. So you have covers that you have hired on local, very attractive men.
Very attractive tradies, personal trainers,
And also, I have been told there's a story behind a vegan taking a photo shoot in a slaughterhouse. So one, I definitely want to hear that story, and I also want to know why you've incorporated all of this into your book covers. Why have you? Is it more so supporting the locals, or is it sentimental value, or?
It's completely selfish, really. It's what I want. It's everything I want the book to be. It has to be my way. What's inside the book has to be my way. What's on the front cover has to be my way, because to me, the front cover tells the person who looks at it that's what's inside. You know, to me, I do judge a book by its cover sometimes. I'm a big cover whore, massive. I wanted the cover to be just as special as my words, if that makes sense. So I'm not your typical mum. I'm not go down and I don't do what most mums do. I get my daughter half naked, I get a dude in and put them together, and that's how I wanted the girls to be part of it, because the girls don't want to read my books, and that's okay. I've got 3 daughters. One of them won't go on a cover, but she's done a few teasers for me for Bastion's book, so that's fine, but I just want them to be part of it somehow. And that picture there, that was taken in a paddock in a little country town about 20 minutes from here. Freezing cold day. The guy, he wasn't supposed to be that guy. He was supposed to be this other big, huge, massive dude. He was gorgeous, but he pulled out because his girlfriend wasn't overly keen on it. So this guy came out of nowhere 2 days before the shoot. When Christy is my photographer, she's a local photographer here in Ballarat, and we just went, we can do this. We can do it, because her whole thing was she does schools and kinders and stuff like that. And she said, we can do it, Leah, we can. And we have. We've done everyone except for her prints and the mail book. I had one tradie who was on board with that, but he's, I couldn't get another guy to spoon with his, so I had to buy that cover.
And vegan in a slaughterhouse photo shoot, I want to hear.
Katrina's vegan, and so's Tamara, and Tamara's on the cover of Love Heals. So I've got 2 vegans and 1 normal meat eater, and this abattoir where we got the photo has got this wall that I needed. I need to have a wall every time I do a photo. I don't know why, and it's the perfect background, but there was an abattoir, and to get the motorbike up on it, we had to go up this ramp, and it was full of bird doo-doo, and there was smell of meat, and there was a smell of rotting chicken, because it's also a poultry place as well. And we were slip sliding around, and I've got my girl in these tiny little denim shorts, and it just worked out. She hated the smell, absolutely hated the smell, but other than that, it was fun.
How did you feel about being a part of it? Like, that's quite sentimental to have your daughters on there. I actually, with one of my previous covers, I've since changed it, but one of my characters was based on a good friend of mine, and that's who the story was written for. So it held a lot of sentimental value in it. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious as to how that makes you feel, and also how it makes them feel to be a part of this project together.
The girls are so proud. I mean, they are the most supportive kids. Apart from the fact that I don't blame them for not wanting to read it, because there's stuff that mum just shouldn't say. But they are so proud, and they've been with me from the start. Before I published His Sweetness, my marriage had broken down, so I wasn't going to publish. I had lost the plot. I had lost all faith in myself. And the girls were like, no, Mum, we've got the photo taken. Let's do this. Yeah, my best friend, my sister from another mister, is a very famous author, Lila Rose. And she just said, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to do this. So she came around and helped me out with this self-publishing stuff. And it was kind of funny, because I am so technically challenged, it's not funny. And so we all sat in my kitchen, and my original editor, Colleen, and we worked out the whole Amazon thing and haven't looked back since. But the covers, to me, have to be just as important as what's inside, and that's why I use my girls. And for example, his angel, Trina, was pregnant in that shoot. She just found out that she was pregnant. That's a very special cover, because she was 3 weeks pregnant when we did that one. And that character's name, the girl, is Memphis. That's her name in the book. And that's my granddaughter's name.
Oh.
So, you know, Katrina said, well, Mum would like to call her Memphis. And I was just like, yes, that's great. And if you have a son, can you call him Creed? And she's like, no, hard no, Mum. Memphis is it. So the books are just so special because it's got the girls and it's got memories and it's got stories behind the covers other than the story that's in the words.
And I love so much, so this is the first time that you and I have met.
Yes.
But already I love that you write for you. And obviously, yes. And you're quite successful in what you do, and your books are well read. And I think that just goes to show as well that when an author truly authentically feels their words and characters and writes for them, then they're going to succeed in multiple ways. And
you have to. It's the most important. Megan March gave me the best advice one day. She came to FYM a few years back, and I met her and Jake, and she gave us a wonderful, like an hour-long talk. And then we kept in contact here and there. And she gave me some great advice. And she said to me, I asked her a question, do you listen to what your readers say in the reviews and stuff like that? Do you change what you're doing halfway through because you're not too sure after what someone said about your last book? And she messaged me and she said, never. Always write for you. Don't change your path. Take the risk and just go for it. And even if it doesn't get to number one, or if you don't reach the top 100, it's your book. You wrote it for you. And that's what I do. I write for me, and I hope that the readers want to come along for the journey and enjoy it. That's why we're here. And at the end of the day, we're here to be successful. But I also want to be really proud of each and every book I put out. And each book has got a part of me, more than just a part. Each female character has got something that's happened in that book that happened to me. What it was is personal, but it's out there in the book, but no one knows what part is mine. And every book has got me in it, and it's my personal story, each and every one of them.
I'm curious, I don't know, is Ballarat large? Is it a big town, or is it a
fairly decent sized city? Yeah. We started off as a small country town, and we've just grown.
Amazing. Are you a bit of a celeb in your local area?
Oh, hell no. I think I'm more popular for my sold roles than I am for my writing, because I go under Leah Sharelle and not my last name. So it's kind of easy to just sort of fall into the background a bit. But I have my books at my work. I've got a big section near the newspapers where my books sit. I'm decently well known in my area, okay?
So what she actually means, guys, is she's being humble and she is a bit of a celeb.
I make a really good salad roll, so a lot of the tradies and truckies that come in, they know me for that, and then they find out that I write.
By nature, you're a rather shy person. How do you find sort of talking about, because we talk a lot about this on this channel, about authors building confidence, and every author can relate. When you go through your first couple of books, you're slowly building your confidence to say to people, yeah, this is my book, and here I think you'll enjoy it, give it a go. How do you find that that's changed for you from when you first published to now? Do you feel that you're slowly building in confidence, or do you still prefer to sort of hide it?
I am my own worst enemy. I am my biggest critic. I have no confidence in myself whatsoever. Like at work, I've got to take on a different personality. So as soon as I get behind the counter, it's like my cape. I'm a different Leah. I'm fun. I'm flirty. I'm boisterous at times. Today I threatened to hit a customer with a baseball bat because he was annoying me. But then I leave there and I turn into this shy chick that just wants to be in the background. I'm the same with my books. I hide behind the Facebook screen and Belinda, and we have fun and everything. But if I had to do it just my face alone and my personality, I'm scared that people will be like, yeah, righto. What are we doing?
In what sense? Because I think, and again, like, I can cut this out if any of this conversation is a bit raw. But I don't understand. Like, obviously, if you want to be in the background, you absolutely can. That's, a lot of authors like that. I personally am a very charismatic author. I love being out and about and doing crazy things, but I think you are amazing. And and Belinda was telling me that you're a very shy author, and she's like, but don't worry, like, she's a goodie, and you absolutely are. And I wish that you had the confidence. And I've only known you for this, what have we been talking, 20 minutes? I've only known you for 20 minutes, and you know what you're talking about. You know your books, you're passionate about what you do, and that shines through naturally. And I think if you give yourself more credit than what you're offering yourself, you're going to go 100 miles with it, babe.
I know, but you know the old saying that the bad stuff is easier to believe about yourself. I tend to think that more than I prefer to hide behind my characters and what I write. The guys that I write is how I want to be treated by somebody. That's why my men are so alpha, so sweet, but also just so focused, single-minded on that woman, because that's what I want. But everything that I can't do myself in real life, I put that into my books, and that's me. I can't say it and be that. I've got to let the book speak for me. The men in the books, all of them, Booth especially, who is my absolute favourite character. I adore Booth, and he's what I want. And yet all of the men are based off somebody who I know, and he's a very, very good friend. He's an amazing friend. He's a great mate. He's part of my writing. He gives me he gives me names like Memphis. He gave me Memphis. I don't know if you've noticed any of my guys, if you've read any of my work, my guys are really Aussie ockers. They're Aussie blokes down to the core. And Steve can come up with some of the most amazing swear words, and put them in wonderful phrases, and I steal them constantly, so he's always on at me about giving him royalties. So instead of giving him royalties, he's in the book and all the dedications and the acknowledgements, so he gets his little mention.
So music is very important to you. You go to you have a Spotify list that you have on your website that you have a link to, so readers can come and check out the tunes that you go into when you want to feel certain emotions. So if there's anything particular, whether you want to be really emotional or whether you want to be really ecstatic and lovey-dovey, you go to particular songs. So I want to know, did you do this straight away when you first started writing? Or is this something that you implemented? And what's a couple of your go-to songs?
I've done it since I can remember. I have done it. I mean, I used to, back in the day, before we had DVDs and all the rest of it, I'd sit in front of the TV with my great big, huge, massive boombox, and press record. And I'd take Countdown or bits off a movie where there's a love scene. And I'd have a whole tape of Grease. All these movies where there's sweet, lovey stuff. And I'd go to bed and I'd just listen to it over and over again and just feel that emotion and pretend that was me. And then it went to music. And music, I don't do upbeat stuff. I probably should. But everything with me, it's love songs, it's sad, because if the sadder I am, the better I write. Okay, so if I listen to a song and I'm desperately alone and lonely and the song's making me, want to bawl my eyes out, I can knock that scene out of the park. So yeah, I do. And the song that started it for the Souls, anyway, showing my age here, Bob Seger, She's Living Inside My Heart. He sings this song about this chick that when he wakes up in the morning, she's the first thing he thinks of. And he doesn't need his mates to go and have fun anymore because he's got this Sheila waiting for him at home. And that is Dec and Charlie. And that is how I produced those two. That's how I produced all of their chemistry and Dec's over the top crap, because that's how he felt about Charlie. And that's how I do every single book.
It's quite interesting, though, that you raised before drawing emotion from, being in a dark place and upset. And I think it's a very interesting thing because a lot of authors do that when they're not going through a certain period in their life and everything isn't so intense and they're feeling lighter. Their writing changes because as they've changed, so has their writing, and they sometimes find it more difficult to delve into those more darker places to draw out emotion because it's not as accessible for them. And I found that really interesting with writers and artists as well, I suppose.
Yeah. I started a standalone. It's sitting in this laptop now, and I think I'm up to chapter 6, and I've had to put it away because I don't go dark. I do MC, but I don't do the drugs, the guns, the women. So I don't do dark, and I don't do angst. I despise angst. The only angst I will read is Jodie Ellen Malthus' This Man series, which is my love of my life is Jessie Ward, much to Lila Rose's disgust. But I can't do angst. But I started this standalone, and it's a part of my life of what happened when I was younger. And it's so dark, and it's so upsetting to relive it and to put on the screen something that happened to me. I've had to put it away. I'm not ready to write it yet, obviously. Dark for me is just, it's too much.
What was your favourite book to write and why?
His Honey, Booth. Oh, Boothy boy. I loved every second of that man. And he is one of the main characters that makes an appearance in every book. He's come into the Love Duet. He's gone into the Firemen series. He's gone into the Sons. And in Grill, he had even his own little point of view in one of the chapters as well. I just can't let that man go, and I never will. But I loved writing that book because Stella was she was strong, but she wasn't one of those women that you see in some MC books where she has to kick ass. She didn't have to swear. And I think I did that deliberately. Every single one of my girls in the books don't swear, because I swear like a trooper. And I didn't want that to come across in my books. And I'm really trying hard not to, because Memphis is now 1, and I don't want Memphis to see Gigi. I want to be called Gigi, not Nana or Granny. Thank you very much. So I don't want her to just see Gigi as, that's that old chick that swears all the time, I'm trying to curb my swearing. It's difficult when you live alone and you haven't got anyone saying, shh, stop it. But I loved writing Booth, loved it. I wish I didn't stop it. I wanted him to keep going, and I guess that's why he finds himself in every other book. But Booth is the ultimate male, in my opinion. That's how he loves Stella. I would kill to be loved like that.
So I guess then into my next question. Why is it so important for you to always have a happy ending in your stories? What is the clear message that you always hope that your readers take from reading your books?
Isn't that what we all want? We all want our own HEA, don't we? I mean, sometimes an HEA is in the actual story, and you just don't get that little extra shove. But it's just what everybody wants. Everyone wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be that person that he wakes up and thinks about her straight away, and he's at work and she's on his mind every second. I mean, that's probably asking a bit much, because I know they've got to concentrate on what they're doing, but every woman wants that, don't they? Or at least they think it. They might not admit it. I'm the opposite, because I'm so open about my need and feelings for love. I tend to spew out too many words.
I find it so refreshing. Genuinely, you are such a hopeful / hopeless romantic, but it's it's so nice to see, and I can see why now that shines through your book so much after meeting you as an author. I can see how that just shines through like a diamond in your books. It's just
So
beautiful.
important. I've got this little quote that I've got on my website, and I use it. I've got Leah Sharelle, and underneath it's got, the only thing better than being in love is reading about love. You know, so, and for me, better than those two is writing about love, creating that special spark between two people and finding different ways to do it. And each and every way that they've done it is how I would love to have.
My next question then would be, what was the most surprising thing that you found coming into the publishing and author industry?
Oh, wow. So many things. But I think the main thing I found is how readers love your characters and your storylines, and to the point where some of them think it's really happening. And in a way it is for them. You've got that 3 hour or whatever time period of reading a book, because if you're like me and you don't stop once you hit page 1 until you hit the end page. But a couple of readers have said, or quite a few, who said it's like reading my books is like having a movie running in their head. I love that. I love that they can see it playing out in front of them, and that means I've done my job. So just the support that you get from the readers, and then you can have a Facebook discussion about these fictional characters like they're real. I love it. So the romance world is a great place to be.
What are your 3 tips for new writers? What's your top 3 tips?
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't wait as long as I did. You know, I waited until I was, 46 before I published my first book, and I've been writing properly, you know, like full-on manuscripts since I was like 18. Don't wait, just do it and enjoy yourself, and always listen to what's in here. Don't worry about what's out there. Don't worry about opinions and being proper and all the rest of it. If you want to write a particular book that's got some hard edge in it or whatever, do it. Do it. Just listen to what's in it, because otherwise you will regret not putting out that book instead of putting out the one that you think people wanted. And you know, I'm an insta-love kind of a writer. So my characters get together in the first few chapters, and then it's their story, you know, and there's still stuff that happens to them. They might break up or get in a fight or whatever. But for me, it's important to firmly establish this love first and then go from there. And so don't let anyone say, oh, instant love sucks, or, you know, just do it. If you want to have an instant love book, then do it. You don't have to have all the drama if you don't want to. Just listen to yourself. Megan March gave me that advice, and I haven't looked back.
What book are you working on at the moment?
I am working on my new series. I've got 3 of the Wounded Sons out. But when I wrote The Wounded Souls, who are their dads, I wrote 7 in a row in, I think, 12 months. I think it was 12. And by the end of the books, by the time I got Shiloh's book out, which is their daughter of Deck, and Charlotte in this one, I was a bit jaded, and I was a bit pooped from MC. And that's another thing I've always like, you can have so much success with MC, you got to keep going. No, I didn't want to just be pigeonholed as an MC writer. So as soon as I finished that, I did my Firemen series. Didn't go as well as my MC, but I kept on going. I'm not going to just be known as MC. I'm not going to have oodles and oodles of generations of these MC guys. So now I put the Sons down after 3 books, and I'll let them have a rest. So I'm on my new Cowboy series, my Aussie Cowboys.
Oh.
So the first one is Hot and Taken, and they're triplets. So this is Lennox and McKenna. So I'm halfway through writing that. I've got to pull the finger out and get some more done. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I've got the cover done. Dusty graced the cover of my third Fireman book, and he is also Grill. So I tend to use the same dudes over and over again because they're so hot. And I can just change them up a little bit or turn them around or get him to put his face down and stuff. So Dusty is a personal trainer at D2E Gym. And the owner of that gym is Hoove on the second Fireman book and Gabriel, the first Sons book. And that's how I found a lot of my guys at the gym.
How did they find when you approach them? Because obviously that's quite flattering. If somebody came up to me and said, I want you to be on my book cover, I'd be like, are you crazy? But that
it's hit and miss, I must say. I do get Dusty and Eric have helped me out quite a bit by talking their mates into it. Bastion is one of the guys from the gym. He's not a personal trainer, he just goes to the gym. Eric is actually doing a cover with his wife, Mel, for me, because he knows what sort of covers I do. So he said, if anyone's going to be on the cover with my wife, it's going to be me. So he laid down the law and said, it's fine with me as long as you're shirtless. And he goes, oh, I don't care.
Have you ever thought about, I know, do you go to signings and events?
I've been to 2 signings. I went to one in Brisbane last year, I don't remember what it was. And then I went to one in Sydney just last year gone. So.
Interesting marketing technique that I have noticed some authors do when they use real men instead of purchasing off just a website. You could always invite one of your fine gentlemen to the signing, because you would be surprised by how many people will come to your table if they know that the
Belinda, haven't you? Belinda made you say this, didn't she? Because that's her goal in life, is to get me to bring Dusty and Eric to it, and Lance, who is Bastion, to signings.
I swear I have not spoken to Belinda about it, but I genuinely think it's a very interesting marketing technique. I even considered it at one stage, so
they'd love to come, and if you can bring your D2E banner with you and you can promote your gym while you're doing it, as long as you're doing it shirtless, that's the main thing.
What's your largest goal? What's the dream that you're chasing as an author? What do you want for your books?
See, I thought about this question a lot when I was reading through them, and I said to my daughter, do I tell her my ultimate goal, or do I go and take the humble road? And Tamara said, no, you got to say what's on your mind. I want to write the book, that book where people pick it up and they've read it and it's on their bookshelf and it's the book they go to when they need that feel. I want to write the ultimate love story that I will always be known for, and instantly they see the cover, the name, and they know that's a Leah Sharelle book.
So I have a couple of little quirky questions at the end. So number 1, what is the most romantic thing that you've ever done?
Again, I had to ask my daughter this because other than writing books, I said, what do I do? And she said, well, when I was with their dad, I used to write him little love notes and put him in his lunch bag every day. I guess that's why I'm a romance writer, because, the guy's going to give it back to me eventually.
I don't know why, but for some reason this question randomly popped up. So I asked it, and I don't know if it has relevance to you, but what's your favorite type of bird and why?
Owl.
Okay.
I love owls. I've got them tattooed on me. I love owls. I always have. I got tattoos everywhere. But I adore owls. I just love the way they just sit there and stare like they're way too good for you. They've got that look on their face, and I just, oh God, I love owls. This whole house is just full of owl figurines, tattoos. It's just owls. The girls always know Mother's Day, whatever, to buy me. There's got to have something to do with an owl.
I feel like a super psychic or something right now, because I was like, why do I want to ask her what a favorite bird is? That's so weird. And now I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, love them. I absolutely love them.
What's something that you're terribly horrible at? No matter how hard you try, it's just not your thing.
Technology. I can't program anything that's got to do with batteries and buttons. I can't bake a cake properly without, like, I have no tolerance for craft or baking. I can cook you a 3-course meal for dinner, but as soon as I start using eggs and flour and sugar, shit just falls apart. I swear to God, and craft, I decided not long ago, I thought, I'm going to have a go at making bookmarks. So I got this teenager that does my teasers for me. I got her to do some bookmarks. I put them on a website, got them sent to me, brought a hole punch and some tassels. It was the most annoying thing I've ever tried to do. The hole never went through the cardboard, or it went too far up the top. So when I put the tassel in, it would slip out. Then I'd put it too far down. So no, anything that's got to do with baking sweets or craft and wool, no.
So do you have any unique talents then?
None that I care to share. Let me see.
That's a cheeky answer on its own.
I don't think so. I can make a mean cup of tea. I'm really good at salad rolls.
Who doesn't like a salad roll?
Exactly. I can make a really good salad roll. I can put a sausage roll in a bag and put some sauce in there like you wouldn't believe.
This is the PG-rated version I was looking for, Leah.
You're welcome. See, I control myself.
What food do you despise?
Pumpkin.
Really?
Can't stand it.
Okay.
Ugh. Yeah. I never fed it to my children. I said, look, if I don't like pumpkin, you don't have to eat it either. Now they're vegans and they eat pumpkin all day long. So you can't win. But no, don't give me pumpkin.
Well, that's all my questions. Do you have anything else you want to say or add? Any tips for writers or anything you have coming up that you want readers to know about?
Just do what you want to do, basically. Don't give up. Never give up. You can spend every night lying in bed dreaming about it, and that's fine. But life passes you by eventually, and then it might be too late. So just go for it now.
Well, Leah, I have absolutely loved having you on, and I think you're a beautiful woman. So thank you so much for hopping on this interview, and just thank you.
You're welcome, Kia. It's been lovely. I mean, I did this because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone just once, off my bucket list. And I really, really enjoyed it.